So I mentioned in one of my earlier videos that I have recently found myself with a lot of extra time on my hands. Um, have you guys ever had a job that you guys just hated? I mean, hated. You were so bored and you couldn't do what you needed to do or you felt you needed to do, where you would have to actually coach yourself on the way to work every single day to make sure that you went to work because you needed the money, but you hated your job so bad that you just couldn't stomach being there. Well, I did. I actually, before my accident, I had a job that I really loved to do, but I worked so much and I gave up everything. I mean, I worked around the clock. I worked weekends. I never really got a break. I would go in and I'd work all day and I'd come home and I'd work all night. And the stuff I did was really important. I worked for doctors and administrator, and we had many practices, medical practices and corporations, and I was the controller and the HR manager, and so I did like everything. And I had an assistant, but I just worked all the time and just gave up everything. And when I had my car accident, I was forced to have to make the decision that I needed to leave because I knew that with the way things were going and the doctors didn't want me to return to work, that I'd probably never be able to do what I was doing at the rate I was doing it. And it was kind of a big bummer because I really did love being a controller and being an employee advocate and doing what I did. But at the same time, I did not love where I was living, and I had been wanting to move back to where I am now for a really long time. So I had an opportunity to move to be closer to my other daughter and to get the help that I kind of needed. And I had an opportunity for another job. And my doctors did not want me to work at the time. They advised me against it because I was still trying to get my back and my neck the way it should be so I could actually work full time. But I was presented with an opportunity and I was really excited, and so I left my prior job to take this new job. Now I was really excited because it was a different type of industry and I would have more employees that I was managing, and I would just get to learn so many new things. And I'm a problem solver and I love to learn new things, and I like to just keep advancing myself professionally and as an individual. So I was really, really pumped up about this job. But when I got there, it was a mess. I mean, the company itself, and I'm not going to talk bad about the company, but is an agricultural company, and there's just a lot of stuff that I didn't agree with. There were things they weren't doing properly as far as salaried employees and employees that shouldn't be on salary, but they were making salary, and so I had to jump right in right away and make a lot of changes. And it's okay, I'm good at that, but at some point I'd like to work for a company that is functional and doing what they're supposed to do. So anyways, I get into this position and I'm the accounting manager, and this time I'm working under a controller, and the controller works under the CFO. But what the CFO is doing is what I was doing in my prior job. So all of the financial statements and tax stuff and everything that I was doing before, the CFO was doing. The CFO was then handing down work, excuse me, was handing down work to the controller, and the controller was then handing down work to the accounting manager, which was a new position that was created. And I had a really, really hard time with this adjustment because I'm used to diving into the finances and finding variances and finding ways we can save money and making changes and doing the stuff that I'm really, really good at. But instead, I basically had to sit back and babysit, and I'm not a babysitter. And the manager that I had was one of the micromanagers that sat over you and wanted to know what you're doing every second of the day, wanted me to be out with my team and be on top of them 24/7. And that's not who I am, and that's not who I manage. I'm not really a manager, I'm a coach. So I guide and I lead and I help people to reach their goals. I give them the tools that they need, and I can't do that if I'm sitting on their lap and babying them. They need to know that I was there for them. So I would butt heads a lot with my manager because of the management style. And I'll tell you, I did not do 1 ounce of accounting. I did do a little bit of costing because I was the cost accounting manager, but for the most part, I did zero accounting. I was so bored, it took everything in me to stay awake. And I tried and I tried and I tried to find reasons to be excited to go to work, and I just couldn't find any. And I had employees that I really needed to get rid of that I couldn't get rid of because we were in season and they had been there a long time, even though they were poisoning our department. I had to make a choice to let them continue to do what they were doing or be in big trouble during season, and that created even more problems. So I immediately started looking for more work, and with all the medical issues and everything, my employer started getting really upset because of the absences that I was having, and it was uncontrollable. There's nothing I could do about it. The stuff I have to take care of. If I don't, I'm not going to be able to work at all. I really had the impression after the talks with the CFO and the controller that come the end of season, they were probably going to get rid of me, which is okay because I was planning to get out of there as well. But I was kind of taken off guard about 2 weeks ago when I got the pink slip. That's right, I was fired. And at first I thought it was a joke because I'm like, it's season, things are just getting busy, and you're gonna terminate me. I'm like, okay. But you know what? It was like a huge weight had been taken off my chest, and I did have a lot of things going through my mind. What am I gonna do? Now I'm gonna have to move. And I don't know where I'm going to move to, but I can't afford where I'm living, so now I have to move. And, we might lose internet, we might lose a lot of stuff for a little bit. I have a little bit of panic as far as the money situation. How am I gonna do this? What do I need to do next? But at the same time, I feel like the biggest burden has been lifted off of me. And now I'm actually free to do what I want to do and explore what I want to explore, and figure out what my next career move is. So when I got walked out that door, the controller was really apologetic, and she's like, I'm really sorry. It's just something that had to be. And I told her, I looked at her and said, you know what? It's okay. I thanked her. I said thank you, and I gave her a hug, got in my car, and I ran away, and didn't run away, and I drove off. So that was awesome and rantastic at the same time. At this point, it's what are you going to do next? And I could be upset, and I could be depressed, and I could stay in bed, but that's not going to get me anywhere. So now I'm going through my options. I've applied for unemployment, looking for other work, but at the level of what I did, those aren't the easiest to find. So it's going to take a little bit of time for me. But I'm also considering going further and working harder on my own business. I had done a little bit for a few clients here and there, but was always so busy I didn't have the time to take on new clients. So I'm really considering going full force on my own accounting and bookkeeping mobile services where I can go to clients, gather the information, help them on site, and do what I want to do. So that's kind of where I'm at. I was fired, but I think it's like a really good thing actually. And I know things are going to turn around for me, and it's all for the better. Everything happens for a reason, and this has given me the chance to evaluate, to do what I really want to do. So I'm really, really excited by that. I may have bouts where I'm nervous or scared and have some anxiety because it is kind of scary at the same time, but I'm really, really excited by that. So there might be a time when you might see a little bit of an activity on Crazy Caitlin's channel and my channel, and it's not because we're not making videos, because we are, but it may just because we have no way to get the videos up. So yeah, so stay tuned for more. I'll keep you updated the best that I can. And if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and I will subscribe back. Thanks a lot for listening, and I'll talk to you guys again later. Bye.